it's Emily from Cheese and Quackers Homestead. If you're not already familiar with us from our other socials, we are a small upstate New York homestead that focuses primarily on raising waterfowl. I get a lot of people asking me to talk about common ailments that you can see with waterfowl and some of the at-home remedies that we use to treat them. So I'm going to be starting a series going over all of the different things you might come across when keeping ducks and also all of the different ways that you can treat it at home. We're going to be talking about a really common and a really big one. We're going to be talking about Bumblefoot, what it is, and how to treat it. The important thing about Bumblefoot is early identification and early treatment. If you're able to catch it and treat it early, it's going to save you a lot of money at the vet and also a lot of pain for your duck. At the end of this video, I'm hoping that I'll be able to get you guys enough knowledge that you feel confident identifying early cases of Bumblefoot and also confident going through any of the at-home early treatment that you can do to keep your ducks healthy. Without further ado, let's get into it. What is Bumblefoot? Bumblefoot is an infection typically caused by staph bacteria on the pad of a duck's foot. It usually occurs secondary to some kind of injury like a fall or a scrape. It usually starts out as some surface irritation, but it can quickly turn into a hard lump with a black central scab or an abscess if not treated. In mild cases, your duck can have this condition with really no symptoms at all. However, in more severe cases, you're going to start to notice some limping, some isolating activities such as hanging out in parts of the coop where the other ducks aren't, or sometimes not wanting to come out of the coop or even get up and move around at all. Being an infection left untreated, Bumblefoot is very prone to spreading to other parts of the foot. Once Bumblefoot becomes advanced or spreads, it becomes very difficult to treat at home. Today we're going to be focusing on treating mild cases that you can safely manage without seeking a higher level of care. The best way to catch Bumblefoot is to catch it early, and I like to do this by doing routine foot checks on my entire flock. This doesn't necessarily mean that I'm doing it always all in one go. Sometimes just when I pick up a duck, I like to quickly flip them and check their feet and then put them back down so that I know that I'm consistently checking for it. To get you guys some practice, we'll do a couple foot checks here so you guys can see some of the different things you might come across when checking your duck's foot. First duck we're going to take a look at here is anchovy, and anchovy is the perfect example of completely normal, healthy duck feet. All of the tissue is soft, not hardened, not cracked or dry. This is optimal health, and there's absolutely nothing that needs to be done for her feet. Next duck we're going to take a look at is Popcorn here. Popcorn's feet are not in terrible condition by any means, but I do notice that she has some dry skin and some callousing on her feet. Calluses feel exactly like they would on your own hands, and this is definitely easier to feel than it is to see. None of these areas are warm to the touch or inflamed, which tells me that they're calluses, which are not Bumblefoot. So this foot is okay. And last duck we're going to be checking is going to be Ravioli, and unfortunately for Ravioli, she does appear to have a case of Bumblefoot. Ravioli is not limping or showing any major symptoms, but you can see that dark scab in the center that's indicative of Bumblefoot, as well as some inflammation around the joint, and this is warm to the touch when I palpate it. Luckily her case is mild and her other foot looks just fine, so we're just going to be treating the one foot today. When you're checking your duck's feet, it's always going to be easiest with two people, and it's also going to be important to remember to not lay the duck flat on their back. Being flat on their back is very hard on their respiratory system, so you can see how we're doing it here to make sure that the duck stays upright. Now that we've properly identified a mild case of Bumblefoot, I'm going to be going over what we're going to be doing to treat it. First thing we're going to be doing is a 15 to 20 minute Epsom salt soak. We're just taking Ravioli inside and putting her in a warm bath with the Epsom salts mixed in. This is going to clean out and soften up the tissue as well as help with any inflammation. You can repeat this step daily as you treat the condition. Once we were all done with that, we wrapped her up in a towel and then we're moving back outside to continue with the rest of the treatment. Apologies in advance for all of the quacking in the background. Unfortunately, we live with 30 of the loudest breed of domestic duck you can own. So the first thing I'm going to be doing after that soak is I'm going to be spraying down her injury with Veterinarian poultry care spray. Not only is this an antimicrobial, so it does treat, it also does a really good job of just cleaning off any surface residue. Next thing I'm going in with is Manuka honey. We have medical grade Manuka honey. I think this was like $11 on Amazon. It's pretty easy to find. You can use regular honey if you don't have this. After all that's done, I'm just going in with a little bit of, there's a bug in there. Next up, I'm going to take a little bit of rolled gauze and I'm just going to cut a piece off and I'm going to ball it up like this and I'm going to put that on the bottom of her foot. So I'm going to set that to the side for now. I'm going to take a little piece of Coban like this and I'm going to cut it in half so that I can hold this on once I make it. And this is the best part. I'm going to take a little piece of cardboard and I'm going to cut it into a small triangle, kind of like a little duck shoe. And this is just going to help the bandage stay on because otherwise when you wrap up their foot, it kind of just crumbles in on itself. That's what I made. So I'm going to put the gauze on top of the cardboard and then I'm going to take my little piece of Coban so I can hold this on. Also, if anybody's wondering, Coban is also known as vet wrap. A lot of people got confused the other day when I said Coban. It's the same thing. And so then I'm going to put it on like that and just take this to hold it on so I can wrap up the rest of the foot. And now I like to cut my Coban down. I'm just going to continue wrapping the foot until it's fully secured, and I'm not worried that this is going to come off. As I finished bandaging, you can see that I went in between all of the toes, and it keeps her foot in a really good position, and I secured it off with a little bit of medical tape. Bandage is going to be changed once daily, and during the time that she is bandaged, she's going to be in a separated part of the coop. We're going to be keeping her on soft, dry bedding for the duration of time she's being treated for Bumblefoot. She'll have her own access to food and drinking water in this area, but she will not have access to swimming water while bandaged. We'll take her bandage off once a day and give her some therapeutic swim time because it is very good for Bumblefoot for them to swim. All of the steps that we take to treat mild cases of Bumblefoot at home. If you're treating an advanced case or none of those steps are working, it's really never recommended that you squeeze out or attempt to lance the abscess at home. In any of those cases, it's really recommended that you be seen at an avian vet because doing it at home and especially doing it improperly can make the situation a whole lot worse. Vets can safely lance and flush out infections and send you home with proper aftercare. A lot of times, a prescription for an oral antibiotic might be necessary, so a vet would be able to get you that. One of the best things you can do to prevent Bumblefoot is incorporate soft surfaces into your ducks enclosure. We like to leave them like under trees. We leave areas of dirt that's soft for them to put their feet on. We also have Trex decking in shaded area, and that's great soft surface. Lots of swim time is going to be really helpful to prevent Bumble, so having ponds in their enclosure and things like that is all great and going to save you a trip to the vet. That's about all I got for this one. If you have any more questions about Bumblefoot or any other conditions you'd like me to cover, please feel free to drop them below. Hopefully this helps you feel comfortable and confident identifying and treating your duck flock if needed. And that's all I got for this one. Bye, guys.